Hey, mamas, I am so excited. It is day one of our Thrive in 5 challenge, and I just can't wait to dive in. I'm so glad that you're here and for joining the Facebook group. Thank you for joining the challenge itself. Thank you. And yeah, thank you to me because I'm putting it on for you, but thank you to you. Like I'm saying, you should be thanking yourself because you are putting yourself in the importance that you deserve, which is really to be first, because you have to put yourself first in order to have the proper mental and physical health and well being and vitality so that you can show up better in life. So, thank you to you. And here we go. This is day one, and this is how it's going to work. So, I'm going to talk. And I hope it can be kind of interactive. So if you have questions throughout, please put them in the chat box. I'm going to open up my chat box. There we go. So that I can see. And if you have questions, if you have thoughts, comments as we're going through this stuff, then please put your thoughts and comments in the chat box. And I will be happy to add that to the conversation as it makes sense. Some questions I will leave to the end. Some I will answer as we go, again, as it fits into our talk today. If you are not live with us, if you're watching the preview, the review, the replay, that's what it is. If you're watching the replay, please do try your best to show up live because number one, you can ask questions. We can have a chat like live in the moment. And number two, you can see, you can feel, you can hear other people's questions. You can feel the connection with other moms who are often in the same boat as you, who might have some of the same health goals, who might be struggling with the same stuff. So the more that you can show up live for yourself for all those reasons and more, the better. So I encourage you to do that this week as often as you can, even if it's popping in an earbud as you're doing your thing around the house, then that's good too. The other thing I wanted to say is if you show up live, you have a chance to win prizes every single day, including today. The way that you can win prizes starting tomorrow all the way until Friday is if you do your homework, and I promise it's super simple, super easy every day, just a little thing that I want you to get done at home for yourself as part of this challenge. If you do your homework and you post it in the Facebook group, whether I've asked you to post a picture of something or write something, you'll see what it is in our Facebook group. That's where you're going to post it. And that enters you to win a prize the next day. But here's the key. You have to be live the next day to be able to win the prize. So if I call your name and you're live, you win. If I call your name and you're not live, then the next person who is live will get it. So that's just a little bit of incentive for you to show up live beyond the connecting, because I think that's the most important for sure. Okay. Now, every week, every day this week, Monday to Friday, today is Monday, we will be meeting here on Zoom with the very same link, but every morning I will send you the same link just so that you get in properly in case you lose the link or whatever, easy to do. So I'll send you the link every day. It's actually 15 minutes beforehand that I'll send it usually. So you can just tap that link, get into the room. And if you're here now, well, you already found it. So that's amazing. So I'll send that every day. We are going to be meeting on Zoom here from 1:30 until 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, give or take a few. Depends on how the conversation goes and how the questions come up. But that is a goal. I will be sending the replay each day. So tonight you will be getting today's replay and it'll be a link to the video so that you can be able to watch it, pause it, play whatever, fast forward if you need to. And again, if you show up live, you can win a prize. So there you go. So who am I? I'm Laura. My name is Laura Lima. I am a holistic nutritionist, and I have been a nutritionist for about 15 years now. I started out as an esthetician way back when, because when I was in high school, when you're 17, you're like, what do I do after? I don't know, that sounds fun. And it really was fun. I really did love providing my clients with the best, like calming, relaxing experience. That was the most fun thing for me ever. And what I found though was that the thing that I love the most beyond giving them this experience, so like when I was doing a manicure or a pedicure, the thing that I loved the most was actually the conversation that I had with them. I loved finding out like who they were and what their background was in life, and we got talking about health a lot. I grew up in a household where my parents luckily have always been more alternative health minded. And so I already had that ingrained in me. Like they were always Goodness Me shoppers, which is our local health food store here in Hamilton, Ontario. And so they just had that instilled in me. So I'm really lucky for that, for sure. So when I was talking to clients years later, I would say, oh, yeah, like I heard free range chicken is better. I didn't know why, but I knew that. And in doing a facial, I always knew I can give you these creams, which, by the way, the chemical aspect is also another whole thing, like natural skincare versus chemical skincare. But I can give you this facial, put on this cream. Oh man, your skin is exfoliated. It's beautiful. All the dead skin cells have been sloughed off. But I knew there was more. It's like if they came to me with a skin challenge, a skin issue, it was like, here's how you can take care of your skin at home. Here are some tips. And while that's important and that's great, and especially the products that you use and don't use, that's important. I wasn't really able to address their nutrition beyond drink more water because I knew that was important, right? I knew a few things, but there was always this missing piece for me that I loved about the actual health aspect, like inside to outside health. So I knew there was something for me. Fast forward many years, and my husband, okay, he was my boyfriend at the time. We both worked together at a grocery store. This is very random. I was working on cash one day, and he's like, Laura, you have to go talk to that girl doing a demo, like a demo of food. So I was like, okay, random. And he said, she's going to this school called the Institute of Holistic Nutrition. This is what you've been looking for. Like, this is for you. You're going to go, basically. And I was like, that actually does sound really good. So let me go talk to her. So I chatted with her. And by that night, I had already signed up for, like, I had already filled out the application. It was that immediate. Like, I knew this is for me. So went to that school, and the rest is history. Now I am a mom of 3, and I realize more than ever how important nutrition is. Because if I wasn't properly nourishing my body nutritionally, man, would it be such a different experience? I would be so much more sleep deprived, regardless of the amount of sleep I was getting or not. I would be so much more stressed, less focused, less motivated to play with them. I mean, the list really does go on as far as how nutrition has helped me in my life. And so, as a nutritionist, I was like, when I became a mom 5 years ago, I was like, this is who I have to help. This is who I want to work with, is fellow moms who get it, who are like, I'm busy, I don't have time, and yet I need to be healthy because I don't want to feel like crap all the time because I have no choice. Like, you have no choice. You have to show up for your kids. So it's like, are you going to show up? Ugh, which some days that happens and that's life. But overall, the opposite of that is like showing up with vitality. Like, let's go, let's do this with energy. That is what I want to help you to get. That is what I want for myself. And that is what I want for you. And just know that it is so possible. So during this challenge, I want to introduce to you some simple concepts, some simple switches that you can make in your life. Maybe some of them you're already doing, and maybe some that you've never heard of. but I want to introduce these to you, and I challenge you to try them starting as soon as I say it. As soon as I say it on that day, because we're really only together for 5 days, I challenge you to start that thing because, oh my goodness, I want you to feel better right now. And believe me, no matter how long you have felt crappy, low energy, tired, unmotivated, small changes can take such a quick amount of time to make a difference. Truly. That is what I'm here to show you this week. At the end of this week, some of you will say, I'm full. I got what I wanted. I'm good. I'm going to carry on. And some of you will say, I want to go deeper. Like, what else is there? I want to get even healthier. I want to stay on this healthy train. And I will be telling you how you can do that throughout the week. So I'm so glad you're here. You have already chosen yourself by showing up here today. Whether you're watching the replay or not, you have already chosen yourself by saying, yep, sign me up. I'm in. So again, you're welcome to yourself, right? Now, here's the first thing I want to say. When it comes to healthy eating, it is not just about the food. There are so many factors involved. And yes, I'm a holistic nutritionist, so it really is about more than just the food. It's about the sleep. It's about the body movement, the exercise, the walking, the doing things for your mental health, the whole nervous system management. There's so much holistically, yes. But what I'm really talking about here when I say there's more than food is it's all starting with our mindset. We have to have the proper mindset going into this. If we don't, you will not be able to stick to it. There is no way that you can outsmart your own mind without your mind actually making the shift and you consciously doing that. It's not going to work. It's not going to stick. You might go through the week and say, okay, I'm motivated, but as soon as these calls end, it's like, I'm back to myself. What the heck do I do? And that is not what we want. That's not what I want for you. So we have to make that actual mindset shift. And so we're going to start talking about that today. And today we're also going to go over some small changes you can make in your diet today that can already start to make you feel, I feel better. Even just knowing that this is what you're doing for your body, that alone can make you feel better. I want you to start with a morning meeting with yourself. You're like, what? This is what I heard from one of my mentors recently. And I was like, yeah, that just like brings it all into what I already kind of do in a succinct way. So have a meeting with yourself every morning. So when I wake up in the morning, I'm literally saying to myself, how do you want to feel today? And then I answer. I'm like, sometimes it's in my head, sometimes it's out loud. I'm like, you know what? I want to have energy. I don't want to feel behind. I don't want to feel tired and lethargic and like dragging throughout the day. So then I say, okay, so what are you going to do to get there? And then I literally answer myself, well, I'm going to get up and have a nice big glass of water. And I'm going to keep drinking that throughout the day. I'm going to choose a healthy breakfast. I'm going to consciously eat that healthy breakfast and not just make it for my kids. Because my routine is I come downstairs, make breakfast for the kids, they eat, I make sure I eat too. Whether that's standing as I'm cooking, if I need to on that day, or it's sitting down and eating, ideally, not always possible, I know. However it's happening, I need it to happen. I need my body to get the nutrients. So in the morning meeting, I'm saying to myself, okay, I'm going to prioritize my own breakfast this morning. And I am going to put away that pile of clothes that has been on the chair right over there for the past week, because I know that's going to make me feel better. And so on and so forth. So I have that meeting with myself in the morning. How do you want to feel today? How are you feeling right now? What's it going to take for you to switch to that other feeling? The other thing that I think of in this morning meeting and I ask myself is, when my head hits the pillow tonight, how do I want to feel? So for me, it's always the same. I want to feel light as opposed to just so sluggish and heavy because I didn't eat something just now, or if I did eat something, it wasn't, junky and high carb and something I didn't need because I ate when I wasn't hungry. So I want to feel light. I want to feel satisfied in my body, but not stuffed because I had a great lunch or I had a great dinner. And maybe I snacked in the evening, but that was because I kind of needed something and I chose the right food. So I'm feeling light. I'm feeling satisfied physically, still feeling energized, even though I'm going to bed. I'm tired, but my brain's not like fried. And I'm feeling proud. I'm feeling proud of the choices that I made all throughout the day. I feel proud that I ate that breakfast. I feel really freaking proud that I always had that glass of water and I kept drinking from it all day. I want to feel proud when I go to sleep. I want to feel satisfied knowing that I got that pile of laundry off of that chair. Yes, I did. Who cares how long it's been there for? The fact is now it's off. And in that morning meeting, I'm saying, when my head hits the pillow, I want to know that that is gone and I did that. I feel proud and satisfied that I made myself do it and I did it and now it's done. So pride and satisfaction. These are two main key players of how I want to feel myself when I go to bed. I want to feel excited for tomorrow and I want to feel fulfilled. Like, yeah, maybe I didn't get to all those things I had planned on because, like, this is reality. We are busy moms, but I got to most of them. I got to the most important ones for my own headspace, which included, yes, that pile of clothes on the chair. And by the way, I'm in the office. I'm not pointing to the chair, but I'm picturing it in my head as if I'm sitting on my bed. That pile right there. Yes, you know what I'm talking about. The bottom line is that your day is your choice. What you do in your day and how you feel is ultimately your choice. I want you to remember that your thoughts are here for you to choose. You can choose to feel crappy and sluggish and just bask in that. Or you can choose to say, I want to feel so much better than I do right now. So I'm actually having this positive thought. I'm feeling like I know I'm going to start to feel better because of all these things I'm doing. I'm drinking that water. Yes, I am. That's a positive thought. I know I'm doing something good for myself. We can choose our thoughts, and our thoughts become how we feel. Our thoughts become our feelings. When we have certain feelings, we then act from those feelings. So if I'm feeling so sluggish and crappy, what kinds of foods am I choosing? What action am I taking from that sluggish thought and sluggish feeling? I'm going to choose more of the same. It's a nasty cycle to be in. I'm going to choose chips. I'm going to choose chocolate almonds because you know what? Those are going to lift me up a little bit. They're going to make me feel really good in the moment. They're going to make me forget about any lists that I had to do and any of my responsibilities, any of the things that I thought that I was choosing for today that I thought, yeah, that'll make me have a good day. Nope. I'm going to choose this because my thought is here. And that is then going to make me have a crappier and crappier day. We've all been there, myself included. We've all been there. So we all know how it feels. And it feels like crap. And I never want that for myself. And I never want that for you. Yes, they happen. Hopefully few and far between for you from here on out. It really is your choice. What kind of a day am I going to have? Forget the circumstances that are around you, because we can't change those. We cannot change, for the most part, your circumstances. So forget about those. Think about, how am I going to think? What thoughts am I going to have? No matter the circumstances, no matter the fact that I was up for an hour last night in a row. And that was after having been up 2 different times with various kids. I could choose to be like, I am so tired, blah. This day sucks. Like, what about that thought? How do I feel now? Ugh, blah. What kind of food am I choosing? Crap, absolute crap. How am I feeling when my head hits the pillow? Deflated. I just want more of the same. I probably just ate more chips before bed. Now I'm feeling super full, bloated, gassy. How am I going to feel in the morning? It's going to be a lot harder now tomorrow morning to really get back into that vitality way of feeling that I really want to be feeling. So it's a constant cycle. I can say, well, instead I can say, these are my circumstances. I didn't have the best sleep, and that wasn't my choice because I wanted to have a good one. But here we are. It's a beautiful sunshiny day. I get to do this awesome challenge. I'm so excited. I freaking love teaching this stuff. I love connecting with other moms and just letting them know, like, this is possible. You can feel this way, even though you're busy, especially because you're tired. You can feel this way. So perspective is everything. The circumstances really don't matter because we can't usually change them. We have to think about our thoughts, and our thoughts become how we feel. And truly, our feelings dictate our actions and then our results. Like, if you're going to eat a healthy salad before you have this challenge, which is what I did, I had salmon, like canned salmon on the salad. I didn't have time to add vegetables. Okay, lettuce, which I had ready to go. This is key. Canned salmon, some feta cheese, and homemade salad dressing, another key. We'll talk about that today. Done. So I chose to eat that food, so now I'm feeling really good. That is my result from the choice of eating that food. So it really is a cycle. I want you to see, where am I at in that cycle? What happened today? What happened yesterday? Okay, that's probably has a lot to do with why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. How can I change that around? How can I choose a happier thought? It doesn't have to be from 0 to 100. Like, I feel like death. I feel the most amazing. You might say, I feel like death. And then you might say, I feel okay. So it doesn't have to be, and it can't always be this dramatic jump, but just choose the next best thought. Just choose the better thought. That's the key. And that's going to get you to choosing those healthy foods. And it's going to make it way easier to choose those. Okay. I want you to think about who you want to be and not just what you want to do. I want you to embody it. I want to be, or I should say, I am a healthy eater versus I want to eat healthy. So you might say, I came to this challenge because I want to eat healthy. Oh, I just want to choose the healthier foods. And that's valid. But I want you to switch that a little bit to say instead, I'm a healthy eater. Like, I want to be a healthy eater is like the next thing. So instead of saying I want to eat healthy, I want to be a healthy eater. And then embody it. I am a healthy eater. So you're talking about what you are. I am a healthy eater versus what you do. I eat healthy foods. What you are is everything, right? So embody that. I am a healthy eater. That's a little bit of a switch that says, yes, let's do this. It gives you a little bit more of that excitement and like, yes, let's do this because this is who I am. So the next time that craving comes up, it's like, wait, I'm a healthy eater. I don't need that food. And more on cravings tomorrow, by the way, because huge topic that deserves to be all on its own for sure. There's so much to say when it comes to cravings. So it's easier to stick to and embody it when you make it a part of your identity. That is a powerful mindset shift. James Clear, I don't know if you've heard of this book. You might already be like, yes, James Clear, Atomic Habits. Of course, what a great book. He says, it's hard to change your habits if you never change the underlying beliefs that led to your past behaviors. True behavior change is identity change. You might start a habit because of motivation, but the only reason you'll stick with one is that it becomes part of your identity. So I'll just say the beginning again. It's hard to change your habits if you never change the underlying beliefs that led to your past behaviors. So to say what I said earlier in a different way, instead of thinking I'm an unhealthy eater, we've got to change that identity to say I'm a healthy eater. So thinking, oh, I'm not a good eater at all. What is that going to lead you to choose? More of the same. Crappy food. Stay in that cycle. But when you switch to say, I am a healthy eater, I want to be a healthy eater, you know what? I am a healthy eater. Now you can actually change that underlying belief the more that you say it and the more that you choose those healthy foods. So saying it helps you choose those healthy foods. And the more that you choose those healthy foods, the more it becomes ingrained in you that, yeah, I am a healthy eater, actually. This is what I do. Pretty fantastic. I want you to think of yourself 5 years from now, okay? 5 years down the road, that's hard to think of. I will be 30, I will be 42. That's crazy. I'll be turning 43 5 years from now. So it is hard to think of me then. But either way, the time is going to pass. I want you to think of yourself 5 years from now and think, who do I want to be at that time? What do I want to have done in the last 5 years? How do I want to have lived these past 5 years? Because either way, the time will pass and it eventually will be 5 years from now. And you'll be saying to yourself, if you don't change things now, you'll be saying to yourself, oh, man, I'm still at the same spot. So picture that, right? Let's say you're 40 in 5 years, just to make it easy. You're 40 and you're thinking, oh man, I never made changes. I wanted to, but they never really stuck. I'm still choosing the same foods. I'm still feeling the same way. Motherhood has been good, but man, like real drag more often than it should have been. I was really tired. It's really irritable. And I just, I didn't enjoy it as much as I could have, I guess, because I was just tired and always chasing my hunger. I was eating throughout the day. Yeah. And this might seem dramatic, right? But it's not, because every single day becomes your year, becomes your 2 years, becomes your lifetime. The choices that we make and the way that we eat every single day and the way that we treat our body every single day becomes you at the end of the day. You are carried over to the next day. How you treat your body, what you eat, what you don't eat becomes you. The thoughts that you think the next day, it literally carries over day after day after day. That becomes your week. And it compounds on itself too. Now it's been a week. How am I feeling? Oh, really bad. How am I going to go into this next Monday? It's going to be harder to get that motivation to really get yourself going. How about after the month? I'm like getting smaller because I'm just like, oh, I feel the weight of it on me. And I don't want that anymore. I don't want that anymore for you. And you don't have to have it anymore. You can make that conscious choice literally right now, whether you go through this free challenge and that's it for you, and then you go on and go forth, or you stick around and do the course with me next. Either way, I want you to make the choice right now. I want you to choose that you will do something for your health, because literally your health is everything. And no matter what route you choose, Maybe you watch YouTube videos and maybe you piece it all together. You love reading blog posts. You do recipes that you can find on Google and you make them at home. And maybe you make them your own. However you do it, it doesn't matter. I want you to choose health. The bottom line is I want you to choose yourself and choose health for yourself, because at the end of the day, that is what is going to get us there. And there's so much when it comes to health, the mindset being the first thing. We're going to talk about cravings tomorrow, what foods to choose and which ones to avoid. And should I really be avoiding? Like, there's so much, right? This is why I'm doing the challenge, to help to break this all down for you. And just to give you, like, here it is. Take it and do what you will with it. Choose yourself. That is so key. So we thought of ourselves 5 years from now. Now I want you to bring that back to 1 year from now. That's easier to think about, right? It's easier to picture what 1 year from now. Okay, so I'll be turning 39. Okay. Maybe I'll be pregnant. I don't know. We have 3 kids, as you know. No, we don't know if we want a 4th. More open to it now than I used to be. Kind of have to get on it soon if it's going to happen, since I am turning 38 this year. So yeah, think about myself in a year. Okay, so it's more realistic. It's more like graspable. I can like reach myself there. I can see myself there. That actually makes it easier than thinking 5 years down the road for me to choose healthy today, because I can picture myself in a year. I can break that down into each month. I can break that down into each week and say, whoa, yeah, I don't want to spend this week eating crappy foods, because this is going to lead to next week, and that's going to lead to a month, and so on and so forth. Now I want you to think about, as I kind of just said, instead of thinking of yourself from a year from now, think of yourself in 3 months. Think of yourself at Christmas time this year, or whatever it is that you celebrate. So it's the end of the year. It's about 3 months from today. How do you want to feel? How do you want to feel about the choices that you've made in your health for your body, for the only body that you have? How do you want to feel? For me, I want to know that I chose healthy the majority of the time. Like almost 100%. Yes. I want to know that I chose the healthy foods to eat. I really yes, I can look back at those parties and say, yeah, I avoided the chips. Yeah, I didn't eat the cake. I said no to dessert. And we'll talk about all this, by the way. Like, do you have to do it all the time? Not necessarily. That's my choice. Yeah, I feel so freaking good. Not only in my body because of those choices, but I feel freaking proud of having made those choices. That's such a huge part too. It's that pride when my head hits a pillow at night. It's knowing, I chose me today. I chose me. So overall here, instead of choosing not to take action, to have one more lazy day, to stay stuck, instead of that, like throw that out the window. There is a window in front of me, so I'm going to throw it out there for you. Choose instead to take action. I want to have a caveat here, a side note. Lazy days can be very important days. And I don't at all want you to think that you're not to have a lazy day. No, like you are. But there's a difference between a lazy day when you choose it to be so, and maybe you choose it to be a lazy day right in the morning, and that's okay too. But there's a difference between choosing to have a lazy day and enjoying the heck out of it, and then going back to you're on it the next day. Difference between that and being stuck. Just being like, I literally can't get off the couch. Oh, the next Netflix episode is coming on. Okay, let's just let it play. Because how does that feel? Oh, you feel so stuck and gross. It's mental and emotional stuckness. And it's physical grossness, if you will. How does it feel when you're stuck mentally and emotionally on the couch? It doesn't feel good. Physically, what are you craving? You don't want to get up and have a salad with salmon and feta cheese. You want to go and have the chocolate almonds. You want to go and have that little pastry that happens to be sitting on the counter. Sure, I'll just finish that. I'm having a lazy day. It's fine. How are you feeling? Not good. I don't want that for you. You shouldn't have that. Remind yourself always of that overall picture. This is me by Christmas time. This is me 1 year from now. And remind yourself that the choices you make today are for that future you. Always think about the future you. Live in the moment, but make choices today that will please the future you. I want you in the future to say, thank you, past self. Thank you for choosing to do that. And thank you for having very few lazy days and for instead taking action most days. Thank you. Because I feel freaking good now. Accountability is huge when it comes to any healthy eating plan, when it comes to this challenge. So make sure this week that you are checking in with us regularly. If you have a question, you are to post it in the Facebook group. Unless you want to private message me or send me an email, you can respond to any of the emails that I've sent out for this challenge. That will get you into my inbox, and then I can help you out there. But if you have a question that might benefit the group and you would like to share, please put your thoughts, questions, and comments in the Facebook group, because there is almost a guarantee that there's going to be another mom who has that same question and can benefit from hearing the answer. I want you to know that it is possible to be a busy mom and still take care of yourself. It is possible to be a busy mom and still take care of yourself. In fact, taking care of yourself makes you an even better mom. It allows you to be an even better mom. So you can be stuck in your days thinking, man, I'm just so busy. Like, how does Laura eat healthy? Like, is she different from us? No, I choose health for myself. I choose in my busy day, three children at home right now during summertime. 2 children have always been home with me. Maggie's now going to preschool part-time in September. Before Ellie went to school, it was Ellie and Maggie home. Like, I've chosen to have my kids stay home, except for 1 year part-time of preschool before they go to JK, because I want them to get the experience, get ready before they do full-time school. That's what we've decided. I want them home with me. I want to work from home. So I'm busy. I've got my business at home. I've got work at home. I've got kids here, and I have a family. I have a husband. I have a house that I want to keep, on top of, semi on top of, if you will. I'm busy. And yet, yeah, I make the time to eat healthy, because that is a priority for me, because my health is a priority. But also, I want you to know that it doesn't have to take that long. I'm not the person ever who is going to look at a recipe that is very extensive and say, yes, I'm going to make that tonight. No. I'm going to look at a recipe that's like, oh, 3 ingredients? Oh, 10-minute prep? Yes, please sign me up. So I make it happen the way it needs to fit into my busy life. But let me tell you, it can take less time to quickly prepare something that everybody can eat in the family. Yes, there are, picky eaters and so on, but overall, it can take less time to prepare something homemade than to actually go on DoorDash and say, oh, what do we feel like? Yeah, want to add that on? Okay. Hey, tip, like, that can take more time than just prepping something. Not every time, no. But I often surprise myself when I'm cooking a food or cooking a meal and I'm like, oh, it took me like 7 minutes. And look at this, it's cooking and now it's going to be ready. And all I have to do is stand here and stir it a little bit more till it's like totally done. Amazing. So I constantly surprise myself with how fast and easy healthy eating actually can be. And when you're eating properly sustaining meals, so we'll talk about this a bit today, but when you're eating foods that really satisfy you physically, you will be less hungry. You won't need to snack as much. You won't even be thinking about food, ideally, for a few hours after you eat. So, in fact, that actually takes a lot of time back to you, time that you might have all instead been spent on, you might have already spent this time on, food. What do I feel like eating? A little bit hungry. Let me open that pantry and just kind of see what I want to eat. Oh, wait, we have that food in the freezer. Yeah, okay, let me just go get that. Heat that up. The time that we spend thinking about snacky foods and grazing throughout the day, nobody thinks of this. That takes so much time, not to mention mental energy. Like, no, get that away from out of your head. If you instead eat this healthy meal, maybe you had 2 eggs, maybe you had some rye toast with lots of butter, maybe you had some tomato or avocado with it for breakfast. Now you are satisfied. Your blood sugar level is like steady climb, steady decrease instead of this roller coaster. That means that I will spend so much less time and energy thinking about food that whole time. I'm not even gonna be thinking about being hungry or needing to feed my body. But if I instead get up and I'm like, oh, I'm just so busy and I don't have time to eat. Who has time? I'm a mom now. That went out the window when I became a mom. No. If you do that, I'm like, no, I'm dismissing it already. But if you do that and you're like, because we do, right? And you skip your breakfast, you're always hungry. You're thinking about the next time you're going to be eating and what am I going to eat? And every drive-through you pass by on the way to school or daycare or work is like, I didn't eat today. I think I'll just pop in here and get a little muffin. What harm is it going to do? Well, maybe not a lot, but blood sugar level. Now I'm feeling peckish. I'm at the office and I'm like, oh, I need to eat something. What is it going to be? So do you see this constant cycle? I want you to get out of it. That takes so much more time and energy than it does to just eat 3 solid meals throughout the day, really nourish your body, feeling fantastic. That's what I want for you. The key for eating healthy. So let's talk about food a little bit more today. The key for eating healthy for me overall is to balance your blood sugar level. Because when we're up and down like this in our blood sugar, up and down and up and down, our mood is also up and down and up. And we feel really good. We had that muffin. I'm feeling good. But then the faster and higher your blood sugar level rises, the faster and lower it's going to crash. And how do I feel when my blood sugar level crashes? Very moody. Thank you very much. Very irritable. I just want another muffin. Never mind. Just give me the donuts. Give me all the donuts. I'll just take them. That's in the office today. Yes, I will have that. Yep. Sign me up for those chicken strips. Yeah, those look good. Okay. How do I feel? I'm constantly chasing my hunger. How do I feel mentally? Up and down. Good, bad, irritable, mood swings, crazy, not stable. I don't feel focused. How do I feel when my blood sugar level is just humming along? I feel focused. I have energy. It's not like this spastic energy, but it's just like this good, good, like strong, grounded energy. That is what I want from my food. So balancing your blood sugar level is huge. When it comes to insulin, you might have heard of insulin. Insulin is like our fat storing hormone. Insulin is very important, but we have to use it sparingly. We have to have just a little bit of insulin, and it has to be very effective in how it works. But what happens is every time our blood sugar level rises, insulin rises in response, because insulin has to get the glucose, the sugar in our bloodstream. Insulin's job is to get the sugar out of our bloodstream and into every one of our cells, so it can be burned off as energy. When this happens, which is usually what happens when we have a nice steadying, a blood sugar steadying meal, insulin does its job, glucose gets to where it needs to be in our cells in order to be burned off as energy. You are feeling fantastic. This is very good when all is working well. The problem is when we have so much glucose at once, like so much glucose, period, but so much glucose at once as well, insulin's like, whoa, okay, I can only do so much here, guys. Your cells become full and resistant to the insulin. Insulin says, I have sugar here. I need it to be burned off in there as energy. And your cell says, sorry, no. It's called insulin resistance. Your cells are becoming resistant to insulin. Insulin is still holding on to the sugar. It says, I need to get this sugar out of your bloodstream. That is my main goal of life. So insulin says, okay, I'm going to store it. You're not going to burn it off for me. Okay. I'm going to store it as future fuel, as future energy. Fantastic. But guess what? Those stores get full as well. So then we still have all this glucose. Your body says, insulin says, okay, we're going to store this glucose as fat. We're going to turn it into fat and store it also for future use. But it's been turned into fat for storage. And that fat storage usually happens around our abdomen. So you can think of our abdomen almost like an insulin meter. One of my other mentors, Janet Jacks, Goodness Me founder, amazing, smart lady. She knows so much about nutrition and health. She's so passionate. If you can take a class with Janet, take it. Janet says our abdomen is like our insulin meter. It's like a monitor. It tells us how well or how efficiently our insulin works. So if we have more fat storage, particularly around our middle, that can indicate our insulin is not working as it should. The first thing we should then do is say, how many carbs do I eat? How much sugar do I overeat? Because carbs are the thing that cause the blood sugar level to rise. And especially when we eat carbs without eating enough protein and fat with it, blood sugar disaster. So if you think about refined foods, think about a muffin. Most muffins are high carb. They usually don't have protein or fat really to speak of. Think about crackers and cookies and bread. A lot of pasta, especially if you're not having pasta with meat or fish or something in it or beside the pasta. I want you to think about what you're eating now, really from that perspective. So I want you to think about insulin, not just because it's our fat storing hormone, but because inflammation is more present in the body when we have insulin resistance. Our immune system more sluggish when we have this imbalanced blood sugar. So I want you to reduce your insulin and steady your blood sugar. And the way that you do that is by having fewer carbs and more protein and fat. Sounds easy. It's pretty easy. But then you're like, yeah, but what about when I want the sugar? And that's what we're going to get into tomorrow, because that is huge. Cravings for sugar, especially, they're so huge. And I want you to know that I am a recovering sugarholic. I am a former sugarholic. I understand. how it feels to eat the whole bag of chocolate almonds and then want the chips. And then to be finished the chips, but I'm still looking because I'm looking for something from my food that my food is not giving me. So I get it. So we're going to talk about cravings tomorrow. That is a whole beast. And yes, you can absolutely overcome cravings. So it really does become simple. If you get rid of the cravings, for the most part, it does become simpler to eat well. Have fewer carbs. I'm not saying carb free. No, not even saying low carb. Fewer carbs, but make sure you have more protein and more fat. So here's my simple meal formula. And it's really simple. Pick your protein, choose your vegetable, add your fat. So if I think about, okay, I'm going to go have lunch right now. What should I choose? Okay, pick your protein. For me today, it was salmon and feta cheese. Okay. Now you're going to choose your vegetable. For me in my salad, it was lettuce. And if I had more time, I would have had peppers, onion, and cucumber with it. Maybe carrot or celery, whatever. I didn't have time, just lettuce. So lettuce was my vegetable today. Add fats. Okay, I added my salad dressing that I made by myself. Homemade salad dressing is the key. We'll talk about that today. Using olive oil as a base. So that is how I put my meal together, and it was very simple. Now let's look at dinner. Pick your protein. Steak just came to my mind. I'm going to have steak tonight. Cool. Okay. Choose your vegetable. So maybe you're having it with asparagus. Great. Maybe you also have a salad. Maybe you don't. We often just have the protein and the vegetable, call it a day. Now you're going to add your fat. So you might have a beautiful butter sauce that you are going to pour over that steak, pour over the asparagus, and you made it yourself. And it's butter. It's not margarine, not vegetable oil. It is pure, good for you butter. Amazing. Maybe you have olive oil instead, and you're going to put some olive oil all over the asparagus, or maybe a little bit. Doesn't have to be all over. You can tell that I love fats, yes. But maybe you have a sprinkling of olive oil on your asparagus. I love that. So you've picked your protein, and maybe it's fish. Maybe it's eggs for breakfast. You're adding your vegetable. So you're choosing your vegetable. Pick your protein, choose your vegetable. So you've got your salad, you've got your kale in your smoothie, maybe your protein powder is your protein. You might have, okay, avocado is a fruit, but we can call it a vegetable in this case. Maybe you have avocado with your eggs in the morning. Now you're adding your fats. Okay, when it comes to the egg and avocado example, those are already really good and fat rich. Amazing. I will also, if I have toast though, have butter on that toast, and there's even more fat. So you can see why this breakfast is so satisfying, so fulfilling, and filling, I should say, and fulfilling, because it's so nutrient rich, because it takes a long time to digest protein and fat. It takes a lot quicker of a time to digest only carbs. That's why when you add protein and fat to your meal, you go from this kind of a blood sugar to this nice and steady, because protein and fat take longer for your body to break it down, longer to digest all those little pieces. So meanwhile, your blood sugar is not going like this. It's just steadily climbing, steadily going down. Nice little slope. Now, I do want you to know, part of the challenge, right? Certain food in this case, can be slowing you down. It can be just gumming things up. It can be just completely toxic, if you will, not in the physical sense, though that is also true, but more of the overall well-being of you. This food could just be wreaking havoc and could be so toxic, and is so toxic to your overall vitality, to that person that you want to be. This sugar can be very toxic to that person. I just said it. right? It's just there. This food can be very toxic to that person. It is sugar. I know, I said it. Now, I will say that this week, one of my goals is to help you reduce your desire for sugar. Reduce your desire for sugar, not reduce the amount of sugar you're eating, period, because that's also true. But I want you to reduce your wanting for sugar. Can you imagine if I took that away from you right now? Imagine how the rest of your week is going to go. Like, actually think physically, like, think about realistically. Tonight, I would have wanted 3 cookies after dinner. Can you imagine if I took away that desire? That is the key. That is what I want you to figure out. Oh my gosh, in your own mind, like, I can reduce or even get rid of that desire. Like, that's crazy. So we'll talk more about that tomorrow, because that is key for getting rid of sugar cravings, is to reduce the actual desire, not just get rid of the sugar foods, because that's easy to do, because like, okay, I won't eat it anymore, but then your desire comes back. We have to get rid of that desire. We have to work on that desire and like get rid of it. So we will talk about that this week, but I want you to start today, because you're watching this right now. And maybe it's already Thursday, by the way. Maybe you're catching up and only watching day 1 on Thursday. That's okay. You are never too late. It is never too late to start eating healthy today. The key is that you do it today. Your next meal, you're going to say, how can I make this healthier? How can I reduce the sugar today? That's what I want you to do. There is a caveat when it comes to sugar. I used to live in the principle, which I still teach. So I still teach this principle, and it can apply to a lot of people. But to me, it couldn't apply. I tried to make it apply to me, but it didn't. It is this. If you want to eat those foods, go for it. But try to keep eating those foods to 20% of your diet. 80% of the time, eat the healthiest foods possible. 20%, allow for those indulgences. Allow for those sugary foods. Why didn't that work for me? Who can tell me? Because I didn't get rid of my desire. What I actually just said to you was, if you want to eat those foods, I don't want you to want to eat those foods. Oh my gosh. Like, yes, okay, there also is the pleasure aspect of food. And I don't want to take that away. But oh my gosh, healthy foods, even sweet ones, like I still have maple syrup and honey. Oh my gosh, they are so pleasurable. And in fact, if I look back to what I felt from sugar, like white sugar, refined sugar foods, it was like pleasure, but it was followed by a crash. It was followed by, crap, I just ate that. It was followed by cravings for more sugar. So in fact, it wasn't pleasurable at all, because it only led to more cravings for the same stuff. So therefore, the 20%, 80-20 principle, it didn't work for me for sugar. It does work for some things, but for me and sugar, I had to divorce it. I had to get rid of it. I had to say, no. Yeah, I still have honey, maple syrup, stevia. I still will use coconut sugar if I'm baking and something calls for a granular powdered sugar. I'll use coconut sugar, but that's few and far between. And I have not found that to increase my desire overall for sugar. So I feel okay about it. So, oh my gosh, I feel way better being pretty much 100% on the refined sugar side. So you have to decide what's going to be better for you. And this week in particular, I want you to be more in that 100% side. 5 days. Even if you're starting on Thursday, 5 days from today, including today, do it. I want you to feel how you can feel without sugar. Yes, you're still going to have the desire for it, probably, until we start to tackle that tomorrow. But you will be able to get rid of the physical effects of sugar, the blood sugar irregularity effects of sugar. So already you'll be so much further ahead and you'll be winning so much by just the physical act of avoiding sugar. I want you to remember, it's not just the sugar, the white or brown sugar, it's the foods that can contain it. So we're talking ketchup, a lot of sauces, a lot of salad dressing. This is why I make my own. So I'm avoiding sugar, I'm avoiding preservatives, and I'm avoiding vegetable oil. We will get there in a minute. Also, crackers and cookies, a lot of packaged foods, of course, has sugar in the ingredient list. So just make sure you're looking at the ingredient list. And I challenge you, this is part of the challenge. Reduce it. Get rid of it this week. For the next 5 days, get rid of it. And if you do that, I want you to write it in the Facebook group. And I want you to tell us, I am giving up sugar for 5 days. And maybe it's going to be for longer. Maybe it's like 5 days and then some. But starting today, I'm just doing a trial period of no sugar. Let us know because I want to know. I want to cheer you on all the way. I want you to know as well that there are healthier alternatives to pretty much anything. So even if we're talking about sugar and getting rid of it, I've already said, like if I'm baking, I have made it realistic for myself, which doesn't mean no more pancakes. It means eating pancakes, but using coconut sugar instead of white sugar, which I did anyways before. Even when I was doing my 80-20 way of living, I still used coconut sugar. Sometimes I would use sucanat, different kind of less refined sugar. So there are healthier alternatives to pretty much anything. So you don't have to feel deprived. You don't have to feel like, oh, I want to eat that, but I can't. First of all, that's not true. You can eat it if you want to eat it. I don't want to ever say not to. But also, there are absolutely alternatives to so many of these foods. So, and ingredients too. So just know that. So here's where we come to the challenge part. I challenge you, and I'll say it again because I just said it. I challenge you to avoid sugar this week. Avoid it for the next 5 days. Also, other places that I didn't mention where sugar might be lurking: sweetened yogurt, peanut butter, granola bars, and chips. Obviously, right? Chips. Not only in the flavoring itself, not only in the flavoring, but in the potatoes themselves. Those are high carb. Those just lead to more cravings for more carbs, including sugar. So, gone for the next 5 days. I challenge you to do that, to do it with me, because we're all in this together in the Facebook group and every day on Zoom. My next challenge for today is to make your own salad dressing and eat it throughout the week. This is something I'm going to be putting in the email that goes along with the replay of this video. Simple recipe. Bottom line is that it's a 2-to-1 ratio. 2 parts oil, 1 part vinegar. This is what I have found to work for me time and again. This is how I make salad dressing. I'm using olive oil for the most part for myself. So let's say 1 cup of olive oil, half a cup of vinegar. Apple cider vinegar will be the healthiest, most beneficial vinegar that you could use, but you could also use balsamic. That's what I had today. You can use white wine vinegar, red wine vinegar. You can do lemon juice, also the healthiest that you can do. You can do a combination of lemon juice and vinegar. That choice is yours. But 2-to-1 ratio of oil to vinegar. Always add garlic. That is the longest the thing that will take you the longest in this recipe is chopping the garlic. And even that's like, okay, 2 minutes, not that bad. Not that bad for a full week of salad dressing. Maybe even longer than a week. So chop up some garlic, throw it in. I always do Dijon mustard or prepared mustard of some kind. Hate mustard. Love it in salad dressing. Figure that one out. I just love the flavor in the dressing on its own. But even as I'm like making it and I'd like take it off a spoon, I'm like, oh, rinse that off. Then salt. That is another key. So use sea salt, whether it's like Celtic salt or the brand I have is Redmond. It's literally called real salt, or you can use Himalayan rock salt. All fantastic. So real sea salt, not table salt, because you want to get the sodium chloride, but you also want the other minerals that are naturally occurring in salt. So sea salt, pepper, and then that's it. If you have any herbs that you want to add, fantastic, or other spices, great. If not, you are done. Oil, vinegar, mustard, garlic, salt, pepper. It will take you less than 5 minutes. That is my challenge for you right now. Today, make salad dressing today. Set aside 5 minutes, literally in your calendar or on your planner or in your schedule or on your to-do list, however you do your day, write down, make salad dressing. Do it, put it in the fridge in a jar, ideally, some kind of a glass measuring cup, something like that. Put it in the fridge. When you go to use it, the olive oil will harden. And so it stays at the top, the rest of the dressings at the bottom. So whatever, that was happening to me today because I didn't have time to let it like thaw or like, go from hard olive oil to oily again, liquidy. So I just use my spoon and I stir it and it's fine. It mixes into the salad just fine. But if you remember in advance, take it out of the fridge so that it has time to de-solidify the oil, if you will. My third and final challenge for you for today, and we'll have a different challenge every day. And they're not hard. I mean, I shouldn't say that. They can be very challenging because they can be so new for you. Like, oh, you really have to make an effort when something is new, but also when it's new, it's kind of fun and exciting. So it could be a mix of that for you, but I hope they're exciting and they make you feel like, yes, like proud, I did that today. So I promise these will be relatively small, simple things each day. But my third and final challenge for you today and every day this week is to have a meeting with yourself first thing in the morning and ask yourself, how do I want to feel today? What do I want to be thinking and be saying to myself and feeling when my head hits a pillow tonight? And what do I have to do to get there? Have that morning meeting with yourself. Have that meeting with yourself right now. Even if you're watching this at night, that's okay. Have it right now. And then in the morning, have it. Wednesday morning, have it. You'll find that it becomes a habit the more that you do, the more that you do it. And then when your head hits a pillow, naturally you'll start to think, oh man, I feel good. Or like, I had that morning meeting. I wanted to feel a certain way. I knew what I had to do to get there, but I just didn't do it. And that feels kind of crappy. Just take note of it. How does that feel? And then the next day, you want to feel better at night. You want to feel better during the day. What are you going to do to get there? It's your choice. It's your choice what thoughts you will have. Those thoughts will turn into how you feel. They will turn into your feelings. Those feelings will determine your actions, what actions you will take in that day, what foods you will choose in that day. Those foods will then give you your results. Mentally, physically, emotionally. So you see, it's your brain, it's your thoughts, feelings, food choices, then your result. Like then how you ultimately do feel at the end of the day, mentally and physically. It's pretty cool. It's really, really cool. Now, there's your 3 challenges, okay? So I'm going to put this in the email. Avoid sugar this week, make salad dressing, and drink it. You could. Healthy fat. Eat it this week and have a meeting with yourself. Now the homework, it's part of the challenge, so it's not anything new. The homework is to take a picture of a salad dressing that you made. Just let's pretend this is it. Screenshot or like picture and upload it into our Facebook group and say, here's my salad dressing. And you can tell us what's in it, or you can tell us what kind of vinegar you chose, or you can just show us your salad dressing and not say anything. That's fine too. I want to see it. And I want to see that you've done it, because that is what will get you there. Making the salad dressing is what will get you there, because that is a seemingly insignificant thing, which is actually huge. Because remember, our days make up our weeks, make up our months, make up our years, make up our life. That is true. So making the salad dressing today and eating it throughout the week, every time you have salad, is key for literally changing our life. That is what I will leave you with. Make salad dressing. It's key for changing your life. I mentioned during this class that I was going to talk about olive oil, vegetable oil. So I'll talk more about that this week. But because I said I would say it today, just so you know, vegetable oil is high in omega-6. And omega-6 is pro-inflammatory. It can cause inflammation versus omega-3, which is anti-inflammatory, reduces inflammation. So the more of that omega-6 rich oil that we get in our life, the more likely we are to have inflammation in our bodies. And inflammation is not good. It is not good for pain. It can cause pain. It's not good for being able to move around and being fluid and flexible and feeling good and having a clear head, having proper blood sugar levels and lower insulin, energy, immune system. So the more of this omega-6 that we get, the more likely we are to have inflammation. We get omega-6, like too much of it. We get it everywhere because it's vegetable oil is the source of it. Vegetable oil includes things like soybean oil and canola oil, corn oil, cottonseed oil. Those, you will find them in most packaged foods. Most packaged foods will contain these vegetable oils. These are not good for you. That means that you're having this inflammatory oil all the time. It also means that you're having damaged fat all the time. These oils have been highly processed using high heat and other potential chemicals in the refining process. This high heat damages the oil structure, the fat structure. When we have damaged fats, our cells can't use those properly. It can damage our cells. We don't want that. We can't have that. We have to eat anti-inflammatory oils. We have to eat heart-healthy oils. We have to avoid the omega-6 as much as we can and reduce that from our life. Really increase the omega-3 anti-inflammatory oils and just healthier oils in general, healthier fats in general. That is why I don't like store-bought salad dressing, because vegetable oil is inevitably the base. Plus, there's usually sugar. Plus, there's usually preservatives and other flavors, chemicals that we just don't want in our bodies. We don't want them to gum us up. No, thank you. This is why, I'm glad I said this, because this is why making your own salad dressing is such a huge step toward health. So those are your 3 challenges for today. There won't always be 3, by the way, but there are 3 today. And your homework piece is simply taking a part of that challenge, which is making your salad dressing, taking a picture of it and posting it in the Facebook group. If you post it in the Facebook group tonight or sometime before the call tomorrow, your name is entered to win a prize. If you show up live tomorrow in the call and your name gets drawn and you're there live, you will win. So be live. This is a lot. When we talk about health, it's not just about the food. It's about so much more, right? And I can't even explain what the other is, until we get into this conversation. So I'm so glad if you have stuck with me this far. Thank you. I want to see you in the Facebook group. Please put your comments, put your thoughts. I will be sending a replay of this video and in the email. And if I can add the replay to the Facebook group, I will. I don't think I might be able to add a link in the Facebook group so you can just watch it from there. I want it to be as easy as possible for you to see this information and then to apply it in your life. So I will see you tomorrow. Bring your questions, come live, maybe win a prize, and make that salad dressing, have that morning meeting with yourself, and hey, get rid of the shugs. We don't need him. We don't need him anymore. Okay, talk to you tomorrow and in the Facebook group today. Bye, guys.